Them boys shot my house up. I was right there on the bed, me and my little brother Quan. They shot my house up from right here. This is my mama's shit right here. They shot my mama's house up. They shot this part right here. My mama was in the room. They shot that bitch up. My house always got shot up. They always spent on my shit. Believe we doubling back though, for real. Come here though. Shit, I fuck with my city there. Shit, everybody fuck with me though. There's a couple niggas who don't, but shit, you gonna get that. Niggas gonna hate. Shit, that's what it is.
Keep going.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Rambo Slice, baby.
Rambo Slice?
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Keep going. Just be careful.
You know I'm be careful. I gotta be
careful.
Believe that.
Breaking overnight, Jacksonville police have arrested the only surviving victim of the quadruple shooting.
Deadly shooting on the city's south side leaves 3 people dead.
Keontae Bullard, also known as Yungeen Ace.
Yungeen Ace.
Yungeen Ace
is now out of the hospital and behind bars.
Keontae Bullard, a.k.a. Yungeen Ace, was born on February 12, 1998 in East Chicago, Indiana. At the age of 2, he would relocate to Jacksonville, Florida with his mom and his 8 siblings, all boys. And from a very early age, all Ace would know would be pain and poverty. He would speak on how it was hard growing up because they barely ever had enough food and they was constantly getting put out of their homes and living in hotel rooms, never really having a stable environment. But in spite of the poverty that he was brought up in, he still credits his mom for being a very strong woman and doing the best she could in spite of their situation. And he said his mom always wanted the best for him and for him to get up out of the hood and not have to resort to the street life. But sometimes becoming a product of your environment is just too overwhelming. And eventually it will become that for Yungeen Ace. He got his name from his uncle, his favorite uncle, who named him after the character Ace Boogie from the movie Paid in Full. He said a little Ace was always hustling, so that's where that name comes from. But unfortunately, his uncle was murdered when Ace was just a child, and death would become a common theme in his life. Ace's brother was murdered in front of him when he was just a kid in a shootout that Ace survived. And I think this is one of those cases of PTSD, the street kind of PTSD that nobody really talks about. Young men seeing their best friends and their family being murdered right in front of their eyes.
Brother got shot in front of me. That was a big loss. You know what I'm saying? Shit. That was the biggest loss I ever experienced. I ain't gonna speak too much on that, but shit, he just got shot though. He got shot in front of me though. Shit. Yeah, that was a big loss though.
Growing up, surrounded by violence, Ace didn't have many ways that he could vent his frustration and his pain. But one of the ways that he would use to relieve his stress and his anger would be through music. And one of his biggest musical influences would be none other than Michael Jackson. Not the moonwalking Michael Jackson that we all know and love, the young Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5 one. He said that he would be amazed by the star power and the presence that Michael Jackson had as a kid, and it would inspire him because he knew that he had the same thing within him. So he would start to record music, and he wrote his very first song while sitting on a bench in Melbourne Park. It was called Stop Stalking Me when he was just 14 years old, a song about being on death's door all the time, death always being around the corner. Ace would begin to upload music to SoundCloud, and the way that he would record his music would be by using 2 cell phones. One cell phone playing the beat, and he would record his voice onto the other cell phone. And he would actually get thousands of views doing this. And this kind of let him know that he had something special, that this music thing could really be something. But the problem was, Ace still had one foot in the streets with the Yungeen gang, a group of childhood friends who were like brothers to him. But eventually, with some of the music that Ace was recording, he had the idea that he wanted to make a music video. So he asked his mom, would it be okay if he shot a video using her house, which she said, absolutely not. And Yungeen Ace did it anyways. And it's probably one of the best decisions that he ever made, because in January of 2017, Yungeen Ace dropped a music video for the song Go to War, which would go on to get millions of views on YouTube and getting Yungeen Ace a very strong buzz in the music industry.
Don't wanna go to war with me, but we gon' swing when you sleep. When the stress of bitch recruit, don't wanna go to war with me.
After the success of his first music video, Ace knew that music was his true calling, but unfortunately, he was arrested just a few months after making this video on a probation violation. In 2016, Ace had been charged as an accessory to a robbery, and he was given 31 months of probation, and his probation had been violated due to the fact that one of the members of his crew, the Yungeen gang, snitched on him, in return trying to get a lighter sentence for themselves. And this caused Ace to have to spend 1 year in jail.
Shit, he told on me. Shit, I love that nigga though. That's my brother. Shit, he told on me. I never think he'd tell on me though. I done did too much shit for him. He did a lot of shit for me too though. So it hit me off guard. That was a bit low.
And to make things worse, the Jacksonville sheriffs have been trying to label Yungeen Ace as an accessory to the murder of Zion Brown. The story goes, a man by the name of DeAndre Thomas, AKA Trey Shorty, threw a brick through the back window of Zion Brown's home while he was there with his two sisters, and he opened up fire with an automatic weapon, hitting all three family members. The two girls were only wounded, but Zion Brown was pronounced dead at the hospital. Trey Shorty was identified as the shooter because Zion Brown's sister knew him from social media.
The deadly incident happened early Saturday morning. According to witnesses, Thomas broke out a sliding glass door, walked inside, and began shooting, hitting a 9-year-old and a teenager. They are recovering. 18-year-old Zion Brown died at the hospital. Investigators believe Thomas was not alone when he shot Brown and 2 children.
The sister of Zion Brown would take to social media to blame Ace and his guys behind her brother's death. She would also make a music video in honor of her brother. And some people believe that her being so vocal on social media, making videos and things of that nature, is what caused her to be shot 14 times. Now, luckily, she was able to survive this attack on her life. A man by the name of ATK would later be charged with this attempted murder, but he would ultimately be released after he was able to provide authorities with video footage showing that he was actually in Orlando at the time of the shooting. So there's no way that it could have been him. Yungeen Ace was never charged in the murder of Zion Brown or the suspected retaliation hit on Zion Brown's sister. And in 2018, he would be released from jail and able to return to the thing that he loved to do most, which was music. And when he dropped his music video for the song All In, it got the attention of the Cinematic Music Group. And the CEO of that label said when he saw Yungeen Ace that he knew he had a star on his hands. Yungeen Ace would begin to drop music on a more consistent basis, building up his fan base and his profile in the music industry. Things were finally starting to look up for him. All of the daydreaming that he would do as a kid watching Michael Jackson, wanting to be a star, it was finally his time. He could finally see things changing for him and his family. But like so many other things in the life of Yungeen Ace, it was about to take a tragic turn, because on June 5th, 2018, Yungeen Ace, his closest brother, and his 2 best friends, they decided to do something that they never did. They decided that they want to have fun. They just wanted to be kids and celebrate the birthday of 2-3. Yungeen Ace's best friend.
We stopped at a red light. All you heard was, nah. Pop, 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 pop. And when that bitch hit my hand, I dropped my phone. I heard 23, he was on the side of me. I hollered at him, he screaming and shit. So when shit serious, he called by my real name. He like, Kente, I can't move, Kente, I can't move, Kente, I can't move. Like just hearing that, I can't move. That shit just fucked my mind up. Like that shit played through my shit all day.
The nightmare for Yungeen Ace was just beginning. He said he already knew that his brother and his best friends were dead before he was even told. He actually watched his friend Foe die right in front of his eyes. He said they brought him back to life multiple times. And on the 4th time, he passed. Forever Foe. Yungeen Ace was hit 8 times in this hit. And once he arrived at the hospital, he was told by the doctor that he probably wouldn't make it, that it was just too many holes in his body. And to make matters worse, he wasn't getting the proper medical care either because he didn't have insurance. And the Jacksonville sheriff refused to step in and to make sure that that happened. And they actually ended up arresting Yungeen Ace as he was in the hospital, charging him with a probation violation because he was caught on surveillance camera earlier that day in a gun store, and they saw him handling a weapon, which was a violation of his probation conditions. So instead of receiving proper medical attention, Yungeen Ace was placed in a room with nothing but a metal bed, a metal sink, and a metal door. It's almost as if they were trying to break his spirit, break his will. They forced him to cut all his hair off. They would have him limping around the courtroom with bullets still lodged in his body.
I done went through all this shit and you got me in this little ass box. You know, and I went to Clark County, when I left Duval, I went to Clark County jail, they put me in confinement. I'm in this little ass box. This tragedy just happened to me. You got me in this little ass box trying to fuck my head up.
Eventually, Yungeen Ace's lawyer was able to work out a deal where he would be able to spend the rest of his sentence on house arrest. And this would also allow him to resume his rising rap career as well. And he was able to put some of his close friends on, such as Ksoo, Fast Money Goon, ATK YBZ, all under the ATK banner. The crew would pay their respects to their fallen brothers and vow revenge. And they knew just where to get that revenge from, because Julio Fulio and the KTA crew, along with YNR, was letting it be known who was behind this hit that almost took Yungeen Ace's life. They rapped about it in songs and often talked about it on social media for the world to see.
You a demon, but that chopper turned this whole team to angel dust. Could've killed the rapper, but Lorraine fucked that drill up.
Swear I ain't nothing to play with, I got grades. 3 niggas ain't make it. Left a nigga caught shaking, come broad day.
This is Royale Smith. This that 4X. Who else that is? Quan. Dun dun dun. His ass in the L. Look at his ass in the L with the motherfucking moon and stars.
ATK was ready for war, and bodies would begin to drop on both sides of this beef. Some notable KTA members who lost their lives in the streets were Bibby, Lil 9, and Trey D, who were all mentioned on the song Who I Smoke. Trey D is constantly mentioned by 2 ATK members in particular, Spinabenz and Whopper with the Chopper. Now the death of Trey D is interesting because he was killed at a block party on the east side of Jacksonville amongst about 1,000 people. The story goes, 2 gunmen opened fire with automatic weapons, shooting Trey D multiple times, killing him on the scene. And the way that the rapper Spinabenz talks about the death of Trey D has led some to believe that he may have played an active hand in his death. The KTA and the YNR gang would strike back and begin to put in work. The body of Corbin Johnson was found in a wooded area a year after he went missing in July of 2018. Boss Goon, the brother of Ksoo, was killed in a hail of gunfire in a drive-by where over 100 bullets were fired. And Rollo, the close friend of Yungeen Ace, was killed in Waycross, Georgia.
Yes, I'm calling from the Hampton Inn in Waycross.
Yes, sir.
It sounds like there's been gunshots or something here.
I'm in the hotel, and I was looking out because I could hear them running. And 5 of them ran past our door, and they were screaming, we gotta go before the police get here.
This is the scene outside our hotel in Waycross.
That's the voice of Daryl Ritchie. He was inside of the Hampton Inn when the shooting happened.
One vehicle down here, the red car. You can see where the back glass has been shot out.
Yungeen Ace would once again escape the claws of death, but in the process, losing another close friend. And Rollo's mom would take to the news to let it be known how she felt and how she believed that it was a hit that was meant for Yungeen Ace, and her son just happened to be the one to catch the bullet.
Tears filling her eyes, Veronica Dixon Brookins says she's mad about the shooting at a Waycross motel after a rap concert for local rapper Yungeen Ace.
My son was part of his entourage.
The rapper's real name is Kenyatta Bullard, who escaped the shooting unharmed, and this isn't the first time. He also was one of 4 shot at the St. John's Town Center and was the only survivor.
The war in Jacksonville would continue to rage on, but Yungeen Ace would begin to put more focus into his music and pour his heart and his soul out in songs such as Pain, where he talks about all the loss that he's experienced, all the death that he has seen. He had a viral hit with the song Who I Smoke, which is basically like a drill anthem. But Yungeen Ace wants it to be known that he's more than just a drill rapper, that he has soul, substance, and meaning to his music. Early on in his career, he didn't do a lot of features with different rappers because he felt like a lot of people in the music industry was fake. Besides that, he didn't want to open himself up to new friendships because he felt like everything that he loved in life either died or went to prison. But he was able to form a bond with one rapper, King Von, the O-Block legend. And not only did they bond through music by dropping songs such as Trust Issues, they bonded personally as well and would often be seen together and on Instagram Live, giving each other love. But unfortunately, King Von was murdered in November of 2020 after an altercation outside of an Atlanta nightclub. Yungeen Ace would let it be known how he felt about King Von, and he said that it's something that he still hasn't gotten over. But even through all of the pain, the tragedy, and the loss that Yungeen Ace has had to endure throughout his life, there's still some silver lining in his story because he has now solidified himself as one of the top rappers of the young generation. And he's put himself in a position to where he can now take care of his family, and his younger brothers don't have to worry about turning to the streets like he did. He can also carry out the dream of being able to take care of his mom and getting her out of the dangerous city of Jacksonville and into a safe environment. And as I researched the life and times of Yungeen Ace and everything that he's been through, some people could look at his story and say, he just got lucky. Some people could look at his story and say that he's truly, truly blessed. Or you could just say that Yungeen Ace is hard to kill.